Hello, welcome to another episode of Common Chaos Live on this Monday afternoon. I hope you all had a great weekend and enjoyed watching the pie charts, I guess. As always, before we jump into this episode of Common Chaos Live and hopefully answer all the questions you might have about the several projects that I covered in the past, let's get the usual disclaimer out of the way. Say it with me. Everything that I share in this live stream / video is my personal opinion and in no way financial or professional advice of any kind. You should always do your own research, consult certified professionals, draw your own conclusions, and make your own decisions. With that, as usual, we're gonna, in a second, just need to click, and press, and then we can actually go here. We're gonna start, before I address the chat, by, circling back 1 second. Missed part of the disclaimer. As you might remember, on first day after the launch of Pi Network, or Pi Network's open network, BitGet reached out and asked if I would share their platform on the stream. And as said, they also offered a $200 credit, whatever, for me to use, which is kind of nice, obviously. And therefore, this stream is considered to be sponsored by BitGet, which also means I'm gonna share the link to BitGet 1 second, and I'm gonna pin it for now. So just so you know, we actually on Friday, since we on Friday covered other projects and apps that I'm using, didn't get to use that money on Friday. So we will actually dive into that in a moment or later during the stream to explore the futures trading in BitGet to buy more Pi. That said, so now that that disclaimer is also out of the way and you're fully aware of what's going on here, for UK users, MEXC is apparently working. I'm not sure if BitGet supports the UK, but obviously since this stream is, let's call it sponsored by BitGet, there is a little bit money from BitGet, so feel free to check BitGet as well. So UK users, however, be aware, MEXC should work for you. An update to the Binance vote. That's one thing I want to share. I saw it on Reddit, as you can see. So the vote count is increasing. So far, there are apparently 182,000 eligible votes, and the percentages stays roughly the same. So far, still around 85-86% keep voting yes for Pi listing on Binance, which means that once the vote ends, if it doesn't change too much to the negative, the vote ends in 3 days on the 27th. And once it ends, then soon thereafter, maybe on the same day, maybe a couple days later, so Binance may or may not make an announcement about a potential listing or not, which obviously should have a huge impact on the price, or could have a huge impact on the price either way. If Binance says they will, or if Binance were to say they will not list it, then I would assume that there would be at least a small decline in value. If Binance announces a listing, it probably will increase in value. Yeah, sorry, I have to hide the message here. Yeah, that's that. I already hit that one for my saved things. Yeah, so what else is there? Create utility. No, that we don't need. That. So during the weekend or on the weekend. So if you remember I will address the chat in a minute, but when we looked into the launch on first day, there were more than 100 million Pi on OKX. And I think in total, we had around 180 million Pi or so that were available or in exchange wallets on launch day. And since then, you can see the OKX wallet only holds 34 million. BitGet got a bit more with now 63 million, but overall you can see that if we sum everything up, we have around 60, 110, 144, 154 million. So around 30 million Pi effectively got removed from exchanges, which points to some people buying Pi and then withdrawing them into their own Pi wallet, probably so they can there use the on-chain lockup to get a bigger mining rate boost. But it's interesting that especially OKX, which was the first exchange that had the wallet verified and had more than 100 million coins, basically had at least 70 million coin outflow. So users withdrawing their Pi from there. Could be because OKX originally didn't allow European users trading, and maybe they then already submitted the withdrawal, and by the time trading was possible on OKX, they removed it again or so. But overall, there has been a slight decline in the amount of Pi that is in exchange wallets, which is obviously a good sign. Yeah. With that, do I have anything else bookmarked? No, nothing relevant for the stream. So the last thing before I get to look into the chat is actually a look into the price development. We're back at where we started. So obviously we started between 150 and 3, so we had a short spike up, and then after an initial sell-off of people basically selling their Pi, it has been a slow and steady climb further up to stabilize right now around the 150 area. There was around $1 billion or more than $1 billion trading volume during the first 24 hours. Then it ebbed a little, so you can see the curve of volume in the slight gray here. So then it ebbed a little here, and then there was another $1 billion day roughly here, and now the volume is again declining a little bit. We'll see how the price goes. Obviously, it could retrace a little bit down and so on, but it's overall a very, very good start. Yeah, which brings me to the point, if you're wondering where you can buy or sell, you can obviously, as mentioned, try BitGet. The link is in the pinned comment. Irina can share the link to the other exchanges, MEXC and OKX, for those of you that cannot use BitGet for whatever reason. And what else do I wanted to say about the price? Obviously, I understand that if you have 1,000 Pi, that this would now be, for example, and especially 1,000 Pi unlocked, that this would now be $1,500. And with $1,500, you could buy a new TV or a new gaming PC or something. Yeah. But, and it's obviously, it's your Pi. You do whatever you want. If you sell, I'm not going to judge you for it. Maybe I end up laughing at you in a year or two. No, just kidding. Yeah. But it's your choice. But I ask everyone to consider, if you cash out right now, does that amount of money, first of all, do you really need that amount of money? And second of all, does it change your life? Yeah. Would buying a new PlayStation, a new phone, or a new TV really change your life? Yeah. Or would it just make you happy for maybe a year, half a year, a week, 2 years, and then you're back at where you started? Yeah. So personally, I believe cashing out right now makes no sense whatsoever. For those of you that feel the need to cash out or so, maybe consider a mixed approach. Instead of cashing out everything, maybe sell, I don't know, 10%, so you get $100, $200. So you already feel like you got something for pushing a button once per day for a month, a year, 3 years. Yeah. So you don't end up, because I feel if it's not a life-changing amount, so you get, again, a couple hundred, maybe a couple $1,000, and sure, in some countries that might even be 1 year of your salary, but it will not be life-changing, so you never have to work again and you can travel the world or something like that. And if it's not that, I rather in a year or two, or maybe even in a month, regret not selling because the price goes to zero and I missed out on, I don't know, like whatever, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, yeah. Then in 3 years or 5 years from now, feel the same like I partially feel with Bitcoin, where I bought some when it was still at around $300, but then sold them a year later or so instead of holding them till now. Yeah. So
it aligns with the question you would do. So hold for.
Yeah, but so again, please make your own decisions. I personally look at it this way: if you are not ending up, so if you're not starving and you're not ending up homeless, if you don't sell, then I definitely wouldn't sell all of it. If you feel the need, you want to have some kind of like some payoff from your hard working quote, so from pushing a button, yeah. Maybe sell 10%, 5%, 20%, and so on. Like, so you get a little bit, but just cashing out, so you have $2,000 or $200 or $5,000 that you really don't need right now, other than to buy luxury goods. So if you just want to cash out to buy luxury goods, then personally, I would rather not have the luxury goods. Yeah. But that's what I wanted to say. Yeah. Obviously, that also helps me if I don't sell. I mean, I don't have any available balance right now, so I couldn't even sell. Yeah. But if I don't sell when my whatever 2,000 locked up Pi unlock in June or so, then it helps everyone else because there is less available to buy. Yeah. And everybody, you have to know for yourself at which point you want to then cash out. But I probably would never sell everything because I really don't want to see it. So if I were to sell everything and then I see it go from $150 to $15 or so, and I know I've been sharing this project for 5 years or so, and I literally am then the idiot. So I rather end up being the idiot that cashed out a little at some point, just to, go for a nice dinner or find a $600 budget weekend trip or so that I can go with Irina on and feel like that's what we got out of the project, then be the idiot that in 5 years knows I was among the first people and I still am not rich because I cashed out for peanuts. Yeah. Anyway, that's what I just wanted to share, but please make your own decision. I just wanted to make you think about that. It's tempting. I get that when you, especially if you have no money or if you only earn a couple hundred per month or so, it's tempting to see that you could get 800, 1500, 2000. I don't know how many Pi you have. Yeah. But try to think a little bit bigger and a little bit long term. That's my 2 cents about that. Yeah. With that, we close the price. I'm going to check the chat. We close the chart and we can close this. And I'm happy to report I managed to answer all 200 something comments that were left. I'm sorry if some of those comments are replied to in a short and maybe even partially unfriendly way. But if you see the same question 50 times, if you have a video that is how to change a light bulb, that shows people how to change a light bulb, and then in the comments they ask, how can I change a light bulb? Then probably you would also go crazy after the 10th person does that. But yeah, I tried to answer all of them in a nice way, but some I might have been a little bit, snippish or so. Please don't hold it against me. It's been quite time consuming to catch up with the 200 comments. So yeah. With that, we have that now. Chat for a bit, and then we jump into BitGet to use the $200 that they were kind enough to give me. Is there any future for B network? I shared my video about it. Irina can share the link to it, I guess, or she already did. Yeah. I just want to say I don't have much hope, but I'm still pressing the button. I mean, B network alone takes 1 minute per day because you have to watch the ad, and until the ad loads, it already takes forever. But there, I rather feel let's say in 2 years, it becomes obvious that they will never deliver anything. Yeah. I rather feel like an idiot for wasting that 1 minute than in 2 years, they suddenly actually launch and I maybe don't get my coins, or maybe I realize just how many coins I missed out on because I stopped pressing the button. So I still push the button there, but I don't have much hope. Yeah. If you want to uninstall the app and not use it anymore, I understand it. But again, it's a bit of a dilemma, because what if they change course and actually start to deliver on what everybody was looking for, and then suddenly you realize that you were among the first users, but just because they didn't go in the right direction initially, you stopped using it and you suddenly miss out on everything you could have. Yeah. So as long as I don't have to invest any money and it only takes 1 minute and a 30-second ad or so to open the app, wait for it to load, push the button. G.I. Joe, welcome back. Yeah, and thank you for it's called Super Chat, I guess. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, I have to enable my audio at some point so I actually get the notifications for that. Yeah. So that about B network. Any infos about second migration, transferable balance? There are no infos, but if you think about it, right now there were already 17 million KYC verified pioneers, and only around a little bit more than 10 million migrated, yeah? Which means there's 7 million people that already passed KYC but didn't get their migration yet. So it makes more sense to first give those 7 million people their first coins than it makes to spend time and resources on working on getting more coins to the 10 million that already got coins. So in other words, I expect the team will first focus on getting more users KYC verified. That's why we have deadlines and grace periods and all that stuff, yeah, which is a pity. I'm going to cry when I see just how much I'm going to lose. I probably will lose 4 million Pi because of people losing interest and not passing or attempting KYC. Which at the current price is $6 million worth of Pi that I'm going to lose because of that. And those 30,000 people are obviously going to miss, I don't know how much they had then, yeah. But so it makes way more sense to go this way first, get more people KYC verified, get those people migrated that already passed KYC, give them their first coins, and then worry about working out the unverified balance. So how much of that comes from KYC users versus how much of that you're unfortunately going to lose, and dealing with automating the migration process so that whatever, every day, every week, every second week, whatever is transferable, either automatically gets into your wallet or when you push the button, then gets migrated with the next migration flow. Yeah, that's that. Thank you for your honest opinion, research and quality, practical journalism. Yeah, I mean, thank you. It's been my pleasure. To be fair, I don't know everything in my videos. I also here and there shared something that turned out to be wrong or so. In one of my first videos, I actually suggested people they should create multiple accounts so they can mine more. Yeah, which obviously, but yeah, I also don't know everything and I'm not perfect. But I share what I discover, and obviously, since I have a horse in the race, I try to gather all the information, and obviously, it's in my interest to share it, because if you are one of my referrals or not doesn't matter, because if the project succeeds, I benefit as well. So might as well do something. Yeah. Anyway, Irina answered that. Thanks for your, thank you very much. Thank you. Greetings to, I guess that's Cameroon or Jamaica. Yeah. There's the movie with the Jamaican winter bobsled team. Yeah. Love the movie. Hi, Ayub. Great to have you here. Now the chat just jumped again. God, I hate the chat. Do you plan to hold for the long term, and what do you think the max price will be? Apology. I don't know the maximum price. I feel the launch was really good. As we move along through, you can look it up on explorepi.info in the migration section. Switching there for a second so you know what I'm talking about. So wrong button, explorepi.info. If you go to migration, you can see the unlock. So how many users get an unlock and how many Pi will unlock. So there's gradually going to be more supply. Obviously, there's also users that have no access to their Pi anymore because they forgot their passphrase and whatnot. Yeah, so or at least to the Pi that already migrated. But so there will be a steady increase in supply, and to counter that, we need a steady increase in demand, which means use cases. And with the right use cases, in quotes, the sky is the limit, unless we have insane increase in supply at once. With no use cases or so, eventually people will just start to continuously cash out and the price would decline. Yeah, so it's hard to say. So the race is not over. Yeah, so it's not yet. We are listed and we're at $1.50 per coin, and it was only a little sell-off in the beginning. And now we can all celebrate. No, the race is not over. It can go either way. The project can still theoretically fail if the Pi ecosystem fails, and therefore nobody has a reason to ever buy Pi coins. Yeah. So it's still up to us to invite more people, which should be easier now. I'm gonna switch back so you can enjoy me in my full glory. So it's still up to us to invite more people. There are 8 billion people without a Pi account. It should be easier to get them onboarded now, because now you can point to them, hey, it has a value. It's listed on 4 exchanges already. And when you sign up and you use my referral, you already get 1 Pi, so $1.50 for free. And then just keep pushing the button, invite your friends and family as well. Yeah. And if you don't want to invite people, don't invite people, just push the button for yourself and keep collecting it. When they complain about that the mining rate is so low, point out that's the advantage. It's right now scarce, but they are still among the first 100 million people, yeah, out of potentially theoretically 8 billion on this planet. So yeah, so it's still up to us, like not only inviting people, but also on the other hand, like if you know small businesses, like ask them if they wouldn't be interested in accepting Pi as a payment, or if you know developers or software developers specifically, point them towards Pi and the Pi software development kit, so Pi SDK. You can find it if you Google Pi Network SDK and you will find it, and tell them why they don't develop an app for Pi Network and so on, so to earn more Pi and so on. So the more use cases, the better, and that will then show. And as for me, I honestly have no idea. If I could cash out for life-changing money, as said, I don't want to cash out everything at once, definitely not.
There is a question, if you had all 4 million coins migrated, would you sell?
If I would sell right now, okay, I will try to answer that. So I would definitely not sell everything, yeah, because again, I believe it can go much further. However, I have to say my personal goal in life is to have, so as of today, the calculation for me and Irina together would be around $2.3 million. Because with $2.3 million, if I put that right now in a regular savings account, we would actually get more money than we earn right now per month. And we don't earn fortunes, so we're not rich by any measure, yeah. But we would get more money just in interest, which means I would not have to worry about how profitable is the YouTube channel, how profitable is our software business. We could cover our rent, our health insurance, all our expenses, and still afford a nice vacation every year. So not something super luxury, but something nice, without having to take any money out of our business, which means we could reinvest it to hire employees, to develop better software, to pay higher salaries or something like that. But if I would have to, so if I would have all the 4 point something million Pi, which never is going to happen thanks to the grace period and people becoming inactive, I right now also wouldn't be willing to sell half of it for that. Yeah. So if I would have to sell half of it just to know I can live off interest right now, I wouldn't do it. Yeah. Would I be tempted? So the problem is also, there's also taxes on crypto in Germany. So if I would say, if I would sell right now and I could get $1 million, then that's not $1 million because I would have to pay taxes on that unless I hold it for a year. So that a problem is also if I sell early, or I think the year deadline still exists. I would have to ask our accountant if that still exists or not. Yeah. But if I sell early, if I sell 4 million early, as far as I understand it, again, I'm not an accountant, consult professionals. Yeah. I would have to pay 1 million in taxes. So I would only get 3 million effectively. And if I hold it for a year, it might be worth more and I might not have to pay taxes if I remember it correctly. Yeah. So yeah, like it's impossible to answer. I think I would not sell everything. I might cash out a little bit, maybe to upgrade my MacBook for a couple thousand, since we moved into a new apartment, get some new furniture and stuff like that. But I probably would by far not cash out a huge portion of it. Anyway, trying to move on. Yeah, the stream is probably gonna get a little bit longer. Really love the community post. Yeah, we talked about it earlier. Thank you very much, N. Berkani. Yeah, like I don't know, like, I mean, there's no point, you know, if I screw you guys over or if I'm insincere, sooner or later, some people will call me out for it. And I'm not one of these YouTubers that has some pseudonym channel. This is literally my name. Yeah, so it's my reputation and that means something to me. My channel is small enough that if I go out, nobody recognizes me, probably because we live in a German country, so most people don't watch the channel. Yes, in Germany, I had one single person that actually recognized me based on the YouTube channel, and that's living here now for what, 4 years or so. And either way, but if we go somewhere on vacation where more people speak English, I don't want to have to worry about my safety because people are pissed because I told them some nonsense or so. Yeah. So I'm not always right. Again, that's why I'm saying do your own research, but I share things based on the best of my ability and knowledge because, yeah, like, I don't know, I have something like a moral compass. Sometimes it annoys me because if I wouldn't care about all of you as well and my reputation, I could just promote one bump and dump after the other and be rich already. Yeah. But sadly, I'm raised in a way that I care about my reputation and that I kind of don't want to mistreat people. I might verbally be sometimes not the nicest person, but I'm not going to willingly or knowingly promote something I know is actually bad. Yeah. Yeah, been a few years, Mr. Wallis. Yeah, welcome back. I mean, haven't been that active. Pi community is huge. Yeah, of course. And actually the launch shows that there are not too many users that are just looking to cash out. What determines the crypto's price? Like with everything else, supply and demand. If there's a reason, so how many people are willing to sell, how many people have a reason and want to buy. I did buy at 70 and cashed everything at 120. Yeah, you never know, you know, like you never know how it goes. Personally, I'm just, whatever I'm buying now, I'm going to hold. Yeah, like, because again, I just put $200 from my money in last week on Thursday, and now I'm gonna in the stream throw in another 200 with maybe a slight leverage from now, remind me, BitGet, yeah, and I'm just gonna hold because either it's gonna turn into a big amount, or if it's gone, I'm not gonna end up on the street, yeah. So yeah, we shared it earlier in the beginning of the stream, Ori. So pretty much, I assume, so either it's people that already had their withdrawal order pending before, and so because on OKX, some people couldn't trade initially from what I recall. And so they might have already submitted their withdrawal order and then it just went through, or it's people that just bought because they wanted to have more Pi to, for example, increase the on-chain lockup so they get a higher mining rate boost, which right now obviously would be a huge benefit. And so they withdrew to their own wallet so they can do the on-chain lockup. Marko Miklic, yeah, is high even a thing anymore? It's so funny. I really have to restrain myself, yeah. No, but like, because I had a call once with Terence Kwok, the moron behind Pi and founder, and during that call he shared, he doesn't want to, like, high dollar is not like Pi network, it's a real cryptocurrency and so on and blah blah blah, and you're gonna see Pi will fail and whatnot, whatever. And now if we look, here Terence Kwok, specifically for you, for screwing one of the projects with the highest potential on this planet and just running it into the ground. Here is your precious high that you drove into the ground, and with that, like caused financial harm to I don't know how many people, me included. And here is Pi that actually is a success. Sorry, I'm not sharing the screen. Oh, sorry. Thank you, sweetie, for reminding me. So again, so here we have the chart of high, and again, this project had insane potential. Insane potential, but Terence Kwok thankfully managed, with one dumb decision after the other, to turn it into the least competitive crypto card on the market, with a membership tier program that nobody understands and that costs you a fortune to then get a, by now, almost worthless token. And here's Pi. So I mean, Pi again is also not out of the woods yet, but the start already looks much better than what Terence Kwok did. Anyway, so like theoretically High would still have potential, but like I shared in my last video about it, the problem is they sold the share to Animoca Brands. So Terence obviously made his money. Good for you, prick. But now Animoca owns a share of the business, and Animoca has their own crypto projects like Sand and some MotoGP and stuff like that, and they basically see High just as a way to offer extra value to their other projects. You even get more interest at High for locking up some of the other Animoca tokens than if you lock up High. And so what it would take for High to succeed is Terence Kwok selling the last of his stake, because nobody's going to trust the project as long as he's involved. And additionally, Animoca would actually need to either also sell their stake to somebody that's willing to turn the project around, or they themselves would need to decide, hey, are we stupid? This is a project that has licenses in Europe and other countries, already has a crypto debit MasterCard that works and so on. Why don't we focus on turning that around so we can make an insane amount of revenue based on transaction fees alone? But outside of that, it's never going to improve, because Animoca just needs it as an easy on and off ramp for their other projects and to provide incentives for the other projects and so on. As long as they don't care, nothing's going to change. Love the live streams. Well, they wouldn't be the same without people like you here. And again, thanks for using the super chat. Really appreciate it. Now chat jumped again. Huge disappointment. Irina shared that. Quick question: if you, so would you sell? Saw it. Thanks. Ignored the fingerprint passcode option. I only have unlock using passphrase option on my wallet. How can I select fingerprint? You cannot. So if it doesn't show you unlock with fingerprint or Face ID or so, then you need to use your passphrase. And I'm sorry to say this, and don't get me wrong, but so if you don't have your passphrase anymore, there is no way to unlock your wallet. Spend some time looking for it. If you cannot find it, Irina might have already shared the video. If not, she can still. You will have to create a new wallet. You will have to update your mainnet checklist so that future coins get migrated in the new wallet. But anything that you already have in that old wallet, if you do not have your passphrase anymore, it's lost. Now, very, very important. If you do not have your passphrase anymore, but you still can unlock your wallet with your Face ID or Touch ID, like I can. So unlock with Face ID, and then you can go to your settings in the top right, and you can click on Show My Passphrase, which I'm obviously not gonna do, and then you can use your Face ID or Touch ID to show your passphrase, and then please back it up properly. We covered during last week's streams for sure on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday what backing up properly means. So I'm not going to go into that because we're already getting into overtime today. But if you are on the wallet page and you don't have the option to unlock with Face ID or Touch ID or something like that, or fingerprint, then if you don't have the passphrase, you're shit out of luck. It was your responsibility to back it up. I'm not trying to bash you here, but it's just the way it is. So yeah, it's your responsibility to back up your passphrase and store it securely. If you didn't do that, then it's on you. It sucks, but still, look at the bright side. You can still create a new wallet. You can still get coins from future migrations. And while you might have lost a couple hundred or maybe a couple thousand from the first migration, you're still among the first, I don't know, 100 million or less users. So while you're mining less now than you did a year ago, there are still 8 billion people that have 0 Pi and not even an account yet. Yeah. I want to ask about the Pi browser login password change. I have done KYZ in Pi already, but I don't remember their Pi browser password. I don't think you have a specific Pi browser password. You just, I'm not going to log out or do anything specific on but if I recall it correctly, let's check. You can just from your main Pi app, press Pi browser, and there you have sign into Pi browser. So if you are, if above button doesn't work, so and if the first button doesn't work, use the second button. I don't recall creating separate username or password for Pi browser. Yeah. Where can I find? I don't know. I think Pionex is working in the US. I'm not sure yet if they already allow deposits but they definitely allow buying. But deposits and withdrawals might not work yet. But if we check explorepi.info, we can see Pionex already has a wallet with 41,000 Pi in it. So theoretically, deposits and or withdrawals should also work already. How do you run a Pi node? Yeah. You don't need a static IP. You need to do port forwarding. This is something I'm not going to cover in this stream or in a video because it's individual depending on your router. And personally, running a Pi node only makes sense if you already have a computer that for other reasons already runs day and night. Yeah. There's no point in running it or keeping a computer running just for Pi node if you don't do anything else with it. Check out Friday's stream. There we covered some other projects that run basically in the background and earn you crypto. So if you have a computer running 24/7 and also run those other apps, it might be worth it. But in other cases, usually you just create a higher electricity bill. And obviously your hardware ages and might die at some point sooner if you run a PC just 24/7 for that. But I'm not covering how to do it, and I'm not helping with how to do it if you run into any issues, because specifically running a computer that's connected to the internet 24/7 and exposing ports to the internet is something you should only do if you understand what you're doing there. Yeah. You can obviously read it up. It's not that if you don't know it now, you will never know it and you should never do it. But please, that has to be something you're interested in and where you dive into and start learning about port forwarding, what it means when certain ports are open. You should ideally understand what Docker is doing in the background, how it works. So, and not just blindly run a node. Yeah. I selected the forgot password option and went on to the process of sending of international SMS. Yeah, you just have to try again. I think with the sending of the code, you have multiple numbers, UK and US, and you should obviously make sure that your current phone provider supports international messages or that it's not blocked in some way. You know, some might have it blocked to prevent you having higher bills by accidentally sending them. And then you obviously have to make sure that you enter the number in the right way. So with the plus and then the country code. So +1 for US, +49 for Germany, for example, and so on. Yeah. Please tell me about the Star Network. If you have, I don't have any updates about Star Network. I'm still pushing the button every day, but I don't have any update. Yeah. Blah blah blah. Do you now chat jumped again? Do you recommend any app? Yeah, there are some. I'm using. You can check my channel for the videos, but I'm still pressing the button in Alpha Network, Star Network, B Network, Pi Network. I'm using Upland. There's a video about that on my channel, but that's a little bit more complex. So to jump into. And last Friday, and what else do I'm pushing the button? So Alpha Network. Video, yeah, but there, yeah. So on Friday I shared a few other apps, but they're not similar with pushing a button once a day. But some of them work fully passively. For others, you have to do a little bit, yeah. And but as far as button pressing goes, it's again good dollar, yeah. Although I mean it's also real crypto, but it's worth 0.0000 something or so, yeah. So it's gonna take ages, or I wonder, to ever be worth something. Pi B Star Alpha, Good dollar. Bondex, I'm pressing the button. Also very disappointing project so far, but there's a lot of hope, yeah. And yeah, that's the other project I'm using. Everything else, so Timescope and so on, I just at some point had to remove from my list because I don't have the time to follow the updates, and it just otherwise is such a long list every day to push the button, yeah. What do you think 2000 Pi locked till? No idea. We shared so earlier. No idea. Price can go either way if we bring more users on board, but at the same time, we also need to have more utility for Pi. Stuck on step 9. There is no being stuck. You just have to wait, by the way. I know it says within 14 days, but it can take weeks. It can take months. You just have to be patient. Eventually, you will be migrated. Yeah. Waiting for the unlock at the beginning of March. Yeah. Again, I probably would. So when I have 2,000 coins unlocking in July, and I probably will, yeah, it's fine. Thank you, sweetie. And I probably will lock most of them then again, or probably all of them again, for 2 weeks at a time. So I get a small mining boost bonus. And if there is some important development, I know that every 2 weeks I would have the opportunity to, if I wanted to sell a little bit, or if there is some earth-shattering news, cash out everything or so. I don't know, yeah. But we're gonna follow. Hi Akashi, great to have you here. No, like everything that you see as transferable in your Pi account. So if we go to Pi, oh no, that was Pi already, yeah. So if you go to Pi and you go to mainnet, so obviously the question is the migrated coins are the final coins we receive, thanks. So if you go here, you see your migrated, this is what you already got. You see transferable, this is what you already will get for sure, yeah. And then you have your unverified balance on top. This is all bonuses that you earn from referrals or from your security circle, even so from every team member, and maybe even from verifying users in KYZ. And that balance will at some point in the future be calculated. How much of it is from people that passed KYZ, how much from it is from people that didn't pass KYZ. And from the unverified balance, you only get the portion that comes from KYZ users, and eventually you lose the portion that's from non-KYZ users. Yeah. And then there will be more and more migrations. So they will at some point be automated, maybe as said, maybe daily, maybe every week, maybe every second week. So whatever you mine, or mine in quotes, by pressing your button every day, you will then get in intervals, or when you manually press the button in the section here where it says transfer. Yeah. Yeah. So that's that. No problem. Yeah, so we did that. So if you're the last step, you just have to wait. If you didn't get any coins so far, and you don't recall your passphrase, or it got compromised somehow, just like in general, you create a new wallet, you go to confirm step 3 and step 6 of the checklist again, and then you wait for step 9 to turn green, and then your coins go to your new wallet. If you already got a migration, and obviously you already got coins, and they might be lost if you forgot, or your passphrase got compromised, but then you create a new wallet, you update step 3, you update step 6, and then you just have to wait to get new coins from future migrations. Yeah. Thank you so much. Did you manage? Yeah, of course. I am already on the mainnet. As you can see, all steps green, but my coins are locked up. I don't know. Okay, I will not go into Alpha Network in detail today. I'm not saying that it's not looking promising, but they have been not super transparent initially. What you currently have as Alpha coins is not really on a blockchain. They now slowly introduce a blockchain, but you have with a real wallet with a seed phrase, but you have to get invited to it somehow and so on. So yeah. Green step 1 to 8, orange in step 9. Yep. So just waiting. Yeah. I know it says 14 days, which the team should have just written at some point in the future. So instead of 14 days, but you just have to wait. Yeah. The problem, so just to clarify with the lockup starts when the coins get migrated. So if you pick the 2-year lockup 5 months ago and tomorrow the coins get migrated, it's 2 years starting tomorrow. Yeah. And yeah, thanks. How much will you get? Well, every person pays 1 Pi for the validation, and there are multiple users involved. So you get 0 point something Pi for each KYZ validation that you pass. Yeah. And with that, my dear friends, we're already 10 minutes over time. So I try to keep the streams shorter so that people can also watch the replay and don't get overwhelmed. We're actually gonna call it quits for today. Tomorrow there's going to be another episode of Common Chaos Live. Of course, I hope you were able to get some answers today. Thank you very much for watching. Do not forget, please hit the thumbs up button on the stream. It really helps with getting the stream to rank and so on. It doesn't cost you anything. And yeah, like you can always join our Discord. We can chat there. You can join tomorrow for another stream. And outside of that, obviously see you in one of my other videos. Till then, thank you very much and bye-bye. Have a great rest of the day.